Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist. I was going to do a movie-based reading, but I feel like because I was out of the loop with the collective for so long, that I really want to reattune with the collective energy first, because there's a lot that's been going on in the collective energy, especially regarding work and love. All right, so I'm going to use a couple new decks just for fun. One has the different planets on it, and then one has different animals. But we will read for the masculine, for the feminine, the truth in this connection, and then we'll pull from those for extra clarification. Just for funsies. I don't talk like that. Don't talk like that. All right, so we have the masculine side here with the Six of Cups and the Sword of Truth, the Ace of Swords. So there is some sort of truth coming out about a masculine that probably feels like the feminine is their person. Five of Wands. They could be blocked. It could be blocked communication, or this masculine could have been apprehensive about coming forward with this information because they felt like there was too much competition. Five is the number of lack or perceived lack, so this masculine might not have felt like they were good enough. Let's see if they get over that. Yes, they do, because they're coming out as the Emperor. They're like, oh, wait a minute. I am awesome. I am the Emperor. Like, these chumps are no competition for me. So that turns it into, that five is, they are tired of seeing this feminine give their energy to lower vibrational masculines. So they're going to come in and they're coming to the moon. If you believe they put a man on the moon, man on the moon. Capricorn energy with the Emperor there as well, Aries and Capricorn. But I'm getting with the man on the moon, Capricorn, Jim Carrey in my favorite Jim Carrey movie, which is Man on the Moon. Thank you very much. This could be someone who's pretty funny, but Jim Carrey's very overtly funny, where Andy Kaufman was very subtle, and I mean, not subtle. He was pretty extravagant in some things, but he was always like a character version of himself. He was not, but he himself was very like flat in his delivery. He had a dry sense of humor. You never really knew if he was, like you can tell when Jim Carrey's being funny because he's very funny and very physical comedy, and it's very obvious. This person could have a kind of muted sense of humor that's very clever, but not obvious to most people. Yeah, Queen of Cups. Feminines, you could have a strong water placement here. And I get like a tea kettle. You both could be really into like tea or coffee. That could be maybe like the first date, or you might meet in a coffee shop. There's something about, like in the morning, that song by Neo, In the Morning. I think the message in that song is more like, I can't wait to leave you in the morning. So it's the opposite message that I'm getting here. I feel like this person does not ever want to leave you in the morning, or they won't when you are intimate with each other, or you might spend like the whole night together, and then they're like, I don't want to leave. That also reminds me of Elizabethtown. Someone's name could be Elizabeth, Elijah, Beth, Lizzie. The Hierophant and the High Priestess. Now those are spiritual counterparts. That's the masculine and feminine in the I was gonna say that's That is a like a divine partnership in spiritual work. And then the Empress just came out to confirm the masculine Emperor. Ace of Wands with the Five of Wands. Yeah, if this masculine has been blocked from communicating this image in the Ace of Wands in this deck looks like an Empress to me, right? Because she's got all these different elements here, and even though it's wands, she has a lot of earth. So there's a lot of nurturing energy, and then she's got the butterfly wings for air. And then we had the Queen of Cups, and see the moon, the dark moon aspect of her face is hidden. So the water is the only thing that's kind of missing here. So she's like a pre-Empress, and that's because we have the Queen of Cups here, with clarifying the moon and the masculine side, which means this feminine is lacking clarity of the moon. Temperance, Sagittarius energy, crown chakra. You both are very spiritual. And even saying that, this is the High Priestess, and you can see right there where I've burned her. This feminine has some scars over her heart chakra. So there's some heart chakra work that needs to be done here with the moon, with the cups, with the emotions. This masculine is going to have to kind of run the gauntlet for this feminine. Because this feminine has actually learned, as an Empress, they have learned from their past mistakes. They've learned to, from cycles that they have given to, that they have stopped giving to, that I'm not going to do that again. And I will not test in a way that is, if people get, really kind of like offended by that term, testing. There's nothing wrong with testing somebody. Now, if you're testing somebody, it's all about the intention. So if you are, it's not that you're like intentionally manipulating or playing games, but you are the test. I feel like this feminine is the tower for this masculine because they just are the test. And it's also a testament to this feminine strength. And the masculine, as the Emperor with the Empress confirming this masculine is here to protect this feminine's heart. Because this is just a bunch of like fuckboy energy here with this Five of Wands. All these little boys here are like, yeah, mine. And the masculine's like, no, actually, Ace of Wands, that's mine. So they're coming in to claim you. Emperor, again, like looking right at the feminine. They're looking at each other. And the feminine's kind of like, oh, who, me? Their eyes also in this deck, their eyes also look like this snake. So there could be some scorpionic placements. Someone is ruling their shadows here. This masculine is really in control of their shadows. They're well aware of their shadows, which means that they are accountable. I mean, an Emperor is going to be accountable. They're not here to mess around. This is not immature energy. This is very developed masculine energy that honors the feminine, that likes the powerful aspects of this feminine they like the fire. They honor her fire, they honor her water, they honor her depth, her levity, right? This could be a very funny feminine with that air energy, like someone who's very playful, with the butterfly wings, like someone who's kind of sprite-like. They are very childish, but not in an immature way, right? They just nurture their inner child. There could be a child involved here already, or, you could be creating something with this person. Also with the little veil, like the little strands over this child's face, there could have been some sort of loss of a child or a pregnancy. With the rhinoceros beetle here, this is a fiercely protective feminine, which means that this masculine is even more protective. Because what happens with the masculine and the feminine in their divine aspects of the Emperor and the Empress is they will mirror each other. And the feminine is able to subdue their masculine energy and come into a true feminine where they're able to submit because they have found a leader, or a leader has found them, and they're going to show them the way to go, right? I see them like they either always walk in front of or behind the feminine, like a true alpha. They stand behind them to watch everybody. This is like a great protector. This is someone like that song, I Will Be Your Father figure. anything you need from me. Like this is a masculine who will rise to the feminine. And they're not just like, oh, towering over them. It's like I see this masculine, this great, powerful masculine on their knees. So I'm getting the show Spartacus, where Spartacus and his lady, who's quite the badass. She's a very strong, beautiful woman. I don't know who plays her. The actress who plays his wife, but maybe her sign is of relevance here, or maybe somebody resembles her. But she has like a true Empress energy. You know, she's like not a Viking because they're Spartans, but they are, or what are they? Because the gladiators, Spartacus, that's what they name him, as a gladiator. I don't even know what his real name is. Anyway, maybe it's time to rewatch Spartacus, because I used to watch that. I started watching that actually with a couple of my girlfriends on deployment. And I started it on the second season, so the original actor in the first season had already passed away and chosen. I know he was part of the process of selecting. So there could be something. I think they might actually have the same zodiac sign or something. I don't know. I feel like I looked it up a long time ago, many years ago, when I did watch it. And I've watched it through one time since then. So there's something about kind of like someone choosing a predecessor. There could be somebody could be like a widow or a widower, where they have to kind of like choose spiritually, like they're choosing the person, or like a parent could have passed on and that parent is sort of guiding you two together. Either way, there's like an ancestor or some sort of loved one in the ethers that is bringing you two together. So there could be some divine masculine, like patriarchal figure that is guiding the feminine to this masculine, and vice versa with the masculine and a feminine. But there's in the scene where it's like he comes back from battle and then he's on his knees and she's like at her leg up and he's sort of just like in her womb space. You know, he's like really close to her. And he's, you know, this great warrior and leader in battle, but then he comes back to his very strong feminine woman counterpart and she's sort of like holding him, you know. Hi buddy. What's up, Jack? Yeah, the Magician and the Moon. Again, there's a lot of Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy, particularly Cancer with the Queen of Cups here, and with the High Priestess, and there's Taurus and Pisces with the High Priest and the High Priestess, right? The High Priest or the Hierophant, right? Either way, because it's been called both. You're doing good. The Moon here is like, yeah, it's like this masculine feels sort of, there could be some sort of manipulative with that Queen of Cups over here as well. The masculine could have dealt with a feminine who almost looked like they could have been a panther. Maybe they were an older feminine, like I'm getting like a cougar. But I'm getting like Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. That was actually quite, you know, because the Queen of Cups is very open-hearted. They are willing to nurture and pour their cup. You know, they'll give you the shirt off their back kind of thing. This is someone who's very nurturing, over giving to a fault sometimes. That is very Cancerian energy. But they could have presented as this, but you can see here, this is someone who, like her eyebrows here are like, you know, like in the little cartoons, where they go, the little stop motion where they change the features really quickly in those like Christmas classic stop motion movies or whatever. she's kind of looking like that. So it's like someone who flips really quick, like someone who could have been bipolar or and not regulated bipolar, not aware of it, not accountable for it, you know, someone who was like very much ruled by their emotions in a way that was they would lash out, they would just flip the script, like one minute they were fine, the next minute they weren't. And if you do have any sort of mood disorders or dysregulation, like you understand, and if you understand it and you've sat with that and you understand it, then you can, if you understand, yeah, this person could not, you could never understand this person because they did not know themselves, this past feminine. And so the masculine had to, I don't want to say get rid of them, but they kind of had to release that. They had to work through that cycle of giving to someone who, look, her cup is completely closed. So it's like you're pouring over it, but it's just, all the water's just flowing around her cup. She did not let this masculine in. So, and it's kind of like, it gives me conditional, like angry if you didn't love me in the right way, but I actually don't know my love language and I don't know myself, so I can't tell you or express to you how I need to be loved. So this masculine was just kind of like, I don't know what to do here. So they were always in a place of lacking clarity. So they love the fact that this feminine is so multifaceted and balanced and accountable. Because I was getting like, they feel almost like they're controlled by this feminine, and that would not be divine love. That would not be, but this masculine could feel almost like spell cast. I'm getting Pride and Prejudice, Libra energy, and I don't know what Keira Knightley is. I feel like I've looked her up a number of times and I always forget. She could be fire, but she could be anything because I don't know. But where he says, you have bewitched me body and soul, and I never wish to be parted from you from this day forth. I love you. Oh gosh, Mr. Darcy. But the magician is, the Emperor and the Empress are magicians. They are alchemists. They understand their elements. They understand their shadows. See, the shadows are here, and these also represent ancestors, right? Because that's what happens when you're a child of chaos. You are born into a lineage of shadows, so that you can be the healer. You can bring light to it. That's what, I'm getting Shadowcaster. I don't know, maybe that's some sort of like movie or something, or term. But it's like the narcissist. You are like a shadow profiler, right? And you can understand as the high priestess and the high priest. You are two individuals who really understand the process. I'm getting understanding. Like, you just understand each other very well. You see eye to eye and eye to eye, right? Not eye to eye. So this person might look differently, which also takes me back to the Spartacus thing, because like I'm very loyal to like the first of any film that I see. So there are very few sequels, and there are like even less, if any, remakes that I even will watch or enjoy, because I'm just like, nope, it's the OG for me. And then there are some where it's like Aliens, Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World. Like, I will watch all of them just because I have to see them. Like, I have to see them because I love the first one so much. And some of those, I can get on board with, just like Lord of the Rings or those, it's like, I can get on board with those. But the first ones usually are my favorite. But anyway, so I first saw Spartacus in the second season. So when I went back to catch up, because my friends had already, they had started it before I did, and I had moved, which fob I was at. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but I had come in late. So I had to kind of go back and watch it. And I was like, oh. Now, if I had seen the first one, I may have been like, ew, I don't like this second guy, But I had seen the second one, but it was because I knew that he had hand selected him. There was some sort of like vetting process where it was like he was okay, So there's something about a vetting process here. And that again is like the testament. There's a testament. Maybe something about the Bible. This feels biblical. It feels like you are both so spiritually aligned in many past lives that you have finally come into unity, into your union in this lifetime because we need it. The collective needs it. So this is an extremely spiritually based Knight of Swords. Yeah, this is someone who fights for truth. Always looking for truth. Truth seeker, shadow caster. That's all I'm getting. It's like someone who I also get light caster, land caster. Someone could like Game of Thrones. Now, the only reason I watched all of Game of Thrones is because I was invested in the Hound. So that was my favorite character. That was really the only thing I watched that for. Yeah, there were other cool factors, but that was it for me. So, you know, spoiler alert. He's one of the few that lasts. The Hound. Also, the Hound represents Cancerian energy and Pisces energy with the dog, with the canine. Some could have like profound canines or like something about their teeth. You could be really into oral hygiene, or like this person has really nice teeth. They could really like your smile. There's just something about their mouth that also reminds me of Christian Bale, Aquarius energy, where he talks with the back of his teeth like this. So he's very much in the back of his teeth, and I like that about because I like teeth. I like teeth. So there's something like animalistic about this person, but it's in a protective way. It's not in a way that's like, oh, I'm not sure if I can trust this person. So hounds, dogs, they represent loyalty. This person could also have a really heightened senses. Like they could have a really strong sense of smell or hearing or sight or whatever. Which with a dog, it's not as much the sight, it's more smell and hearing. They can feel vibrations. They can really feel the change in the room. This might be somebody who can like tell time, and then they'll look at the clock and be like, they might wake up and be like, oh, it feels like it's 5:45 a.m. and they look over, it's 5:45, you know? This could be someone who's just really good at telling time, or they're always on time. Oh, I guess this deck is in reverse. Clear the fear. Because we're not honoring fear here. 9 of Pentacles. Yes, you are very... 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles. That's what I'm talking about as an earth sign. Give me the pentacles. Show me the money, right? There could be, financial wealth here in this connection. I mean, with the Emperor and the Empress, those are the ultimate power couple. So you are going to do things that are going to bring you a lot of abundance in every area and aspect of your life. But 6 of Pentacles is sharing, and it's very grounded. You want to invest in the same things, and that's in each other. You know that by investing in your other person, that is going to just benefit you. Like it benefits you, it benefits the connection. And it's not in a tit for tat way. It's not in a transactional way. It's just you understand that by honoring your person and by not being selfish. But again, with that 9 of Pentacles, there is there was probably a hyper independent phase for a while for both of you because you did overgive. If you have strong water placements, you may have overgiven before, and so that may have rocked your stability, because we did have the 5 of Pentacles trying to come out. So it may have rocked your stability to the place where you were like, I'm never gonna love again. Now that reminds me of the song by Russ something, and I like the slowed version. I usually like the slow version of things, which is Pentacle energy. Earth energy is very grounded. It's very, you could have strong fixed or earth placements in your chart, but the approach of this connection is going to be very slow and grounded so that you will trust it. You're not going to be like, can I trust this person? Is this person out to get me? you're not going to question their intentions because their intentions are going to be seen. Pentacles are of the 3D. They're going to be seen and felt. I'm getting like the vibration. There's something like you can feel each other. You're on the same frequency, the same vibration. You speak the same language, and the language you speak is energy. But the song is Losing Control, and the slowed version is, I really like. I don't know if I've listened to the original version. But she's losing control now. Fighting the truth, trying to hide, but I think it's all right now, or something. I might have those, I'm paraphrasing because I'm not sure about the exact lyrics, but basically it's about a woman who goes through not good connections, and so she's has trouble trusting, and then it goes from her being like, each verse is like she doesn't trust love, she's afraid of love, and then she like gets with somebody who she's like beating on his chest like a bongo, but he knows it's from a hurt place. He doesn't run out and call a hoe, and like just listen to the lyrics because he does a much better job at it than I do, obviously. But it's like this is a safe place for this feminine to really trust and submit to this masculine, to lead them and not lead them astray, not mislead them, not and again, I do get like maybe they were always behind their masculines in the past. Like their masculine was always like, maybe they dealt with Leos or something, but they were like, I'm entering the room first, and like everyone's here to see me, and like, you can get the door yourself. This is a masculine who's like behind them, like a true alpha is. They are at the end of the pack. They're behind the sick. They're behind the elderly. They're behind all the little ones because they need that vantage point of seeing what's ahead, and you actually see better from like a wallflower. This could be someone who's kind of shy or reserved. Again, like they might have a very subtle energy, or the way that they speak, they might have a very like subtle sense of humor. But I do feel like they're very funny. There is something quite clever about them. I'll say that. Like they're not going to be like hey necessarily, or they might unleash that part of them around this feminine, because again they're going to feel safe with the feminines because the feminine feels safe around them. Like if you've dealt with a feminine or a masculine who doesn't trust you, you can never be your true self, because if you're not trusted, it's like dealing with a wild animal. You know, if you go out there and you don't earn that trust, it might turn out badly for you, especially if you're with like very wild animals. Maybe somebody deals with wild animals, or like does like rehabilitation for animals. But the Seven of Pentacles is, these are like you both planted the same seeds, or maybe you've never been able to plant seeds, but you will with this person because of all the pentacle energy here. You're like, oh, I've got soil I can actually plant a tree in. And I know I'm not going to have to like leave it. It's not going to get neglected. It's going to continue to grow and flourish, and it's going to be very fruitful, bountiful. Let's get some planets. I bake. There we go, a little cucumber water. What's up, Sable? That happens to me sometimes when I'm in like a migraine aura. My throat, I'll just like choke for no reason. It's nerve damage as well. Okay. So we've got Mars and Mars. So the Mars flipped over and then Mars in front of it. 4 and 4, 44 can be important. 4, 4, 4, 4. You can see numbers in series of 4. Mars is Scorpio and Aries primarily, because Pluto is Scorpio as well, but Mars is the tower, which is Scorpio and Aries. So it is that emperor. It is the fool. It's someone who's willing to leap off that falling tower. We're going down, down in an earlier round. And sugar, we're going down swinging. I'll be your number one with a bullet. Loaded gun complex, cocky and bullet, we're going down. Maybe somebody likes alternative music. But we have the Three of Cups here. Okay, so let me also look at that. So diamonds are earth, and then spades are air. So that's Four of Swords and the Four of Pentacles, which is a very balanced, meditative, grounded, nurturing, thoughtful place. Somebody may have like struggled with overthinking or analysis paralysis in the past. That is quite Piscean energy. Of like, and Virgo with the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Swords. I do get Aquarius and the other one that I just said, Virgo and Aquarius with Four of Swords. So those are very like hermit, kind of doing your own thing, where you are, you know, the Aquarius, they hold their vessel very close to their chest. And Virgo does not make any moves until it's going to be perfect. And if it's not perfect, it ain't happening. So, this is someone who was probably very hypercritical of themselves. They didn't make a lot of moves. And the polarity signs to those are Leo and Pisces. So those are some signs that might resonate with you. You could check your Mars placements and see. You could check your fourth house. And then we have the third. Maybe something about the third is important. But we have the Three of Cups, and this is earth energy. So fixed water would be Scorpio. And then feminine, on the feminine side, mutable earth, which would also be Virgo. So it's like somebody wants to, there could be some reason that the masculine was holding back from approaching this feminine because of those fears of maybe not being enough, or like they have so many suitors. But I feel like this feminine is like, no, I don't. Ace of Wands, like they've got 3 hands here. They are multitasking. This is a feminine who's hyper independent, doing things themselves. And the Empress does not just give to anybody. So we have the Gazelle, letter G. G for Gazelle. So something about like the plains, maybe like Africa, snow leopard, very rare, S. And when I said that, it was like I'm looking at the snake. So this is scorpionic energy. The snow leopard. Yeah, I am getting like panthers, big cats, big cat rescue. Maybe you like that show or something. Or again, somebody could work with these large animals or just love them, could have Leo placements. But the snow leopard is also Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Like, oh, you know, when he's Sean Penn. I almost said Sean Bean. Sean Penn, which, you know, maybe Sean Bean is important. Is he an Aries? He might be an Aries. I don't know. He's a handsome sucker. But we have the snow leopard twice. And the giraffe. So G's are important. It could be Gemini. We've got the S's here. So that could be for SSS. SS. What is that? Like, and I got the Navy thing behind me. But that could be like a ship. Ships coming in. So that's coming out of like the Four of Cups. Your ships are coming in. And that's the Four of Cups. She's on a tower and she's kind of like, the feminine is just like pouring her cups into the sea. Pouring pouring her cups into the sea. Could be a lot of tears shed in this on the feminine side, particularly, especially if you've got those Cancer placements. Honey, you know that you're going to be crying all the time. Crying all the time. Jirafe. That's also like Big Daddy. Yeah, someone could be a father, but it's like Big Daddy. Adam Sandler, AS. He is Virgo. But that reminds me of Rob Schneider, where he's like, hip hop, yo, I always give him the easy ones, you know, he's like, hip hop anonymous. But giraffe, you know, it's that again, like this person could be very tall or have a long neck. I'm a long neck. The name's Sarah. Little feet somewhere. You're either maybe going to have children with this person, or there are already children involved. You could be blending families. I don't know what I was going to say there, but my cat got my tongue. In Secret Life of Walter Mitty, when he sees the snow leopard, he's just like, Walter's like, are you going to take a picture? And he's like, sometimes I don't. If I like a moment, I'm in it, you know. And this person, and with the large cats, maybe somebody takes photos of wildlife. Someone could be like a wildlife photographer. Or a painter, like you could paint or sketch. There's something about big cats that's important here. The way that they move is very seductive, and the masculine could view the feminine this way. They're like, the way that they move is like, drives me kind of crazy. But there's this vantage point from like an elevated vantage point, which does give me the crown chakra, Temperance, Jupiter, and Sagittarius, right? This is somebody who is very tempered. They again, with the bipolar mood influxes, it's like, you know that when you are at peace and when you're around people that bring you peace and you're doing things that bring you peace. You know, I am diagnosed bipolar, so I can speak to this, and maybe you or your person are as well. It's when you are in a place of solitude, you can create a really nice balance for yourself. Anytime that you interact, especially as an empath, if you interact with other people, you can inherit that energy, and it can rock your boat. It's also Aaliyah, rock the boat, and she moves like she has a very may she rest, has could move very well. Maybe somebody's a dancer. The dancers is also the former or original name for the lovers, Gemini energy. The Tower and the Queen. Oh, this is the Maiden, so this is the Page of Swords. So yeah, there is a feminine who is like, this masculine may approach the feminine and they're not going to be aggressive. They're going to just reach out with that earth energy, and they're going to be like, here's my offer. Okay. That, I'm trying to think of what that reminds me of, what that's from. But it's like there's a movie, I mean, this has probably happened in a couple things, but where the man like calls, leaves a message, or tells her like, all right, I'll see you there. I'll be at the restaurant at 8:00. If you come, you come. If you don't, cool. My little heart will be broken. But, cool. Like, I get that this masculine is going to sort of maybe say, I would like to get together. Let me know when you're available. And these are a couple things that maybe I'd like to take you to do. I'm getting the movie We Bought a Zoo. This does feel very much out of their comfort zone, though, for this masculine, because the Emperor does not pursue any other feminine but the Empress. And there's this sort of sense that the Emperor is going to have to really come out of their comfort zone And in We Bought a Zoo, you know, he sees the woman he wants to marry. He's like, oh my God, if I don't talk to her, my life will always be the same. But like, I'm ready for the change with the tower. It's like this masculine wants the change. They want new. They're tired of the same old cycle. They're done giving to past energy. They've just made that decision. Like, all past energy, be gone. And it's like the moment that maybe both of you decide that you're done with the past, you are finally open. Like, that's what divine union is. It's not on measurable time. It's divine timing. There's something about the timing and divine timing, which is the fours, right? It's the 11:11. It's the frequency of divine union. And and she's sitting there. He, you know, and I believe Matt Damon is a Libra, and he goes in and he's like, will you like do anything with me? Like, can I just have any bit of your time? I don't remember how he words it or whatever, but she says, why not? And so it's a common theme throughout that film, where it's like, he's a risk taker. And just like Secret Life of Walter Mitty, you know, he like travels around. Yes, I feel like this masculine could have been traveling around. Maybe both of you have been traveling around. It's like there's this independent factor of both of you just exploring your lives, doing things that bring you joy. And because you're doing things that bring you joy and not doing things that bring other people not even joy, because takers can never achieve or attain or even get to a place of joy, because joy is a place of, it's a place of inner contentment and bliss. So it's a state of being. It's not something that you can ever get outside of yourself, which is the crown chakra. It is being completely aligned with source, so that you are able to maintain that state of bliss. And so when you're in that, the moment that you're like, I'm done, it could be the very next day that this person comes into your space. Or you could have been in this state for a long time, waiting on your person to get to that place. But it does feel kind of like with the tower, like it is like a quick change that's been long awaited. So when it happens kind of like, I've got to do this now. It's now or never. I've got to leap off this tower. I've got to just go talk to that feminine. Like, I've got to go talk to them. I've got to go approach them, because if I don't, I'll never know. I'll never be able to sleep with the wonder of like how amazing my life could have been with that person. 10 Pentacles. This is growing old together. This is building. They're literally planting or harvesting what they planted. So this is reaping what you sowed. All the work, what you've sown. Maybe somebody does something with sewing, or mending. But mending like a tattered tapestry also gives me the movie Brave, maybe something about Scotland. But there's something about, and healing the maternal wounds. The bear is also the Native American zodiac for Virgo, so a lot of Virgo energy here. But there's this, it's like mending the lineage. You're going to be like the first successful, balanced connection maybe in your entire ancestry. And that's why it's taken so long. I'm doing air quotes if you're listening. I'm doing air quotes because it takes as long as it takes. But when it comes together, when it's on a divine frequency, then divine timing happens seamlessly. There's something about the seams. You feel tattered at the seams. You feel, and I do get someone who's like an adventurer, maybe like a rock climber or like hiker, again, like a nature photographer, somebody who's like, and that is Sagittarius energy. That is a lot of like fire energy, but it's also with all this earth here, it's so grounded. Like whatever you do, it's not that you're running away from something. You're just a very curious, explorative. That sounds like exploitative. You're an explorer. You love to explore, and not outside of yourself. It's like everything that you do outside of yourself, you could explore in your own backyard. Dora the Explorer. Backyardigans. So yeah, there is a lot of, like, with these cards especially, it could definitely be something about a child involved. So I am going to read from the energy centers. This book here. Your 7 energy centers. We have many more, but they all at their core start with the 7, because that is the snake. That is that internal, and Mars is the god of war, right? So from war, somebody could have been like warring their whole life. So you're both kind of like warriors, spiritual warriors. Heart. What are the challenging situations in my life, and what am I supposed to learn from them? Are there circumstances in my life right now that I can look at as opportunities to keep my heart open? What can I do to keep compassion alive in these situations? Yes, because if you have been in solitude doing this work for a long time, yes, it might bring you some peace, but it's also like, it'd be really cool to like do all this exploring with somebody else. It would be really cool to not just be like a spiritual warrior by myself, because that does get pretty... Something about Star Wars, because we have Luke realizes that his hatred will tie him to the dark side. So yeah, there is something about letting go, forgiving those around you. Now, I have used this practice myself, because when you can't forgive people who have not asked for forgiveness. So, but you can forgive the parts of yourself that were tied to them, and tied to the idea and the potential of them ever giving you that closure. So what you can do, one thing that you can do, there are a lot of different ways that you can practice forgiveness and releasing. One way is you can write down all the things you wish that person would have said to you. If it was a parent, a sibling, a lover, a friend, society, right? You can write down all the things that you wish that they would say to you. And then again, if you burn it, bury it, water it, right? Use the elements to transmute it. But if you write down any names, or if you put I in there, make sure that you circle those to protect them before you burn them. But Luke realizes hatred will tie him to the dark side. Yeah, like hatred, it just eats you up inside. It's the snake biting its own tail. It's the cycle of not forgiving. And if you don't, especially with parents, if you don't forgive your parents or your bloodline, that's in you. Like their blood is in you. And if you don't forgive them, then there are parts of yourself that you're not forgiving. If you don't make peace with that, then there are parts of yourself you haven't made peace with. And we need to love ourselves entirely, unconditionally, before we are on the frequency of receiving divine love and union. He centers in his heart, reaffirms his allegiance to the Force, and ultimately, by his own love, draws Darth Vader back to the light. But the Emperor was absolutely right. Hatred brings us to the feet of the object we hate. So maybe there's something in there. Again, when talking about the sequels and all of that, I stopped watching the Star Wars at Jar Jar Binks, because I was like, nah, not for me. So I have not seen any of the other ones, but I do want to start from the beginning, from the actual beginning, okay? Those are the first, those are the OGs, okay? So A New Hope. So this is actually bringing in a new hope for both of you. And it's kind of, it's not the last hope like desperation. It's the last hope because this is it. This is the person you're going to spend the rest of this incarnation with the Ten of Pentacles. Lizards can be important here. The letter L. We've got 2 tigers. Double G. It's like double T. You could have 2, like, you could have an alliteration in your name, maybe 2 T's. again, something with the letter, writing a letter. Letter has 2 T's in it. But letters could be important here. But tigers, leopards, again, could be an older feminine with that cougar energy. And then the zebra with 2. These just kind of fell out, so I'm just bringing them up because they could be last minute confirmations for somebody. The zebra, black and white, and 2. There's something about the stripes. Stripes and spots. Because the snake has stripes, spots. Then rings. We didn't get Saturn, but I was thinking rings around the planet, and there's like rings on this antler, gazelle's antlers. On this antlers gazelles. So yeah, I mean, all the stuff you want to come out in a Divine Union Twin Flame reading came out. So I hope that there was something in here for you, collective. I am going to do some movie readings. I've got a couple movies that I'm thinking about, and I'll just see which one I'm called to do. If you like those style readings, and you would like me to do a reading on any movie where there's a love story, yeah, put it in the comments. Let me know what movies you would like me to do. And maybe I haven't seen it and I'll be able to watch something new for the first time. Or rewatch it. Use it as an excuse to rewatch it. So any of like your favorite ones, or if there's just one movie out there that talks about love and it just always annoys you for whatever reason, you're just like, that does not feel like true love. That's like Hollywood love. That's the Hollywood twin flame nonsense that I'm tired of seeing. Those are the movies that I really like to analyze, like where I think they went wrong. Because those are the types of mixed messages that the collective gets, and what a twin flame, journey should be like. That there should be all this turmoil and hurt and runner chaser and blah blah blah. No. Someone could like Twilight as well, because we are talking about like series or movie collections. So there's something about that. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe that means something to you. I'll have to sit with that one, and maybe it will come out in the next reading. But until next time, I wish you well.